Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya Lila Ruzaini binti Muhammad Hussein. Hari ini Garis Krisis bersiaran dari lapangan International Institute of Islamic Studies atau IAIS Kuala Lumpur bersempena persidangan Yaman, The Forgotten Crisis. Sudah tentu disebabkan isu ini akan dibincangkan pada hari ini, semestinya kita membawa satu tetamu yang sangat istimewa, yang sangat arif tentang apakah yang terjadi di bumi Yaman. Saya pasti dalam kesibukan kita semua membicarakan ataupun berperkatakan atau bercakap tentang Donald Trump, Syria dan juga Gaza dan juga penjajah Israel, sehingga kan kita terlepas pandang bahawa ada sebuah negara yang setelah bertahun-tahun mengalami satu krisis kemanusiaan yang boleh dikatakan amat buruk. Dan untuk itu kita sembang isu Yaman yang dilupakan ini. Kami di Garis Krisis membawa Profesor Dr. Dawood Abdulmalek Yahya Al-Hidabi, Professor of Education IIUM bersama Garis Krisis pada malam ini. Very good evening, Doctor. How are you?
Good evening. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. So you're good, yeah, Doctor?
Yes.
Yeah, you have been here for 9 years.
Yes, almost
9 years.
9 years.
Okay, you like it here, I'm sure.
Yes, of course.
All right.
Yes.
So, Doctor, I have given a bit of introduction about what we are discussing today, and if you can briefly brief our audience the background or the history of what's happening in Yemen.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First, thanks for the invitation. And the Yemeni issues or crisis started 2000 or 2014. Unfortunately, the war broke out after that, and it became there are two different governments, one in the north, one in the south and the north part of the north. These two governments started to fight each other, and I would say that we are fighting by proxy, unfortunately, and that affect the life of every single family in Yemen. What we are worried about the plight of our own people in Yemen, at all different walks of life, be health, education, family, social life, economic life, all are going downhill. So, in order to improve the conditions of Yemenis, we need peace. We need stability. That's why Allah said in one of the verses, الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف, who feed them from hunger and protect them from insecurity. So we need security, and we need political stability. We need also social and economic development in order to have a better life and to improve the well-being of people.
But Doctor, how long? How long will it take?
Yes.
How long do we have to wait for the
Yes.
peace?
How long? I think the people of Yemen should decide, to me. No solution will come from outside. If the Yemenis have the will to do it, they can do it.
In what way?
In what way? To me, the best is negotiation as it is going on, but it didn't lead to anything really, apart from ceasefire temporarily, but still fighting is going on in one way or another, and the people are still suffering. So if the Yemenis decide, I don't want to blame outside world, I blame the Yemenis themselves. They have to be autonomous in their decision, and they have to care for their own people, and they have to consider the well-being of their own people. So are waiting to this kind of willingness from the people of Yemen.
Of Yemen
Yes.
themselves, yeah.
Yes.
Doctor, if you can see most of the war-torn country when they were going through war, the most affected community are the women and the children. And that comes, without saying, the education of the children. So if you can briefly, brief us on what's happening with the children education in Yemen, and what's happening and what are the future that we are looking at right now.
Okay, let me give you some figures first. Our women in Yemen deliver 1 million babies every year.
1 million,
1 million
babies
every year. And a child will die, under 5 years old, will die every 8 to 10 minutes. 8 to 10 minutes.
8 to 10
One
minutes.
child will die under 5 years old.
Oh my goodness. Out of starvation.
Out of disease and starvation, both. So, because I think more than 80% of the people, they cannot have access to health services at all. They will just wait until they die. So you cannot have health services, very limited.
Can you say the health services are crippled in Yemen?
Yes, paralyzed. Most of our doctors left the country, and the government is dependent on other countries. 80% of the people depend on humanitarian support from outside. More than 60% of the people of Yemen don't have enough food, daily food. And because of this war, for the last 9 years, we have around 5 million displaced internally. They're living in tents. So nothing is protecting them. And 2/3 of those 5 million, women and children. Women and children. So those who are suffering, really, mostly women and children in this situation. But if we talk about education, for the last 9 years, teachers are not paid, or paid in the southern part with the legal government, maybe $25 to $30 a month, and it comes every few months. Whereas in the north, which 70% of the population in the north, they don't have salaries at all. Neither the professors at the university nor the schools. To the extent that people, I'm talking about teachers, have low morale, and they were humiliated to some extent. Those who are teaching in schools, which is voluntary, and they are not well qualified. But 5 million kids are out of school. 5 million kids out of schools from 6 years to 17 years. And 7 million are in schools, but they are not functioning well. The quality of education, you can say it's the lowest, and it is ranked one of the lowest quality of education in the world. For your information, we used to have maybe 30 different faculty of education. Now, no enrollment in these faculties of education because nobody is interested to go. Why should they go? No salaries, no attention, no motivation, no incentives. Why should they go and enroll in the faculty of education? So now, almost closed, these faculties of education. So that will give you an impression of the great impact, negative impact of the current situation in Yemen on education, on children, on women as well. 60% of the people of Yemen, they are unemployed. They don't know how to earn money. The economy is paralyzed. The government itself cannot pay the salaries of employees. So I think if you talk economically, we are the lowest in the world.
So a doctor was saying they were being paid $25 per month. And,
that's in the legal government schools,
right,
which are not accommodating everybody, but yet they bring their salaries not regularly, even this $25.
Yeah. Is it because of the government do not have sufficient
They don't have
fund?
sufficient fund. No. Because of war. So, the only thing is to bring peace, to bring security, to develop economically, to harmonize the people of the country, to develop themselves, and instead of fighting those rulers.
Yeah.
So that's it's very bleak, but that's the reality.
Doctor, what about the humanitarian assistance from the international community, and
Yes.
also when it comes to food security? What about the World Food Program? Have they been assisting?
There are a lot of international organizations and humanitarian organizations helping and supporting Yemen. But as you know, previously I told you around 80% of Yemen is dependent on this kind of humanitarian support from outside. But sometimes they are not distributed fairly. And sometimes you'll find them a lot of corruption and abuse
by
local and
internationally.
foreign. Both. And they spend a lot of money on management sometimes, and experts and so on and so forth. However, that's the only source we can get. So, thanks for those who are supporting Yemen. At least they can survive a little bit, because many families depend on one meal a day, as I told you. They don't have enough food to eat. And even the food, just bread and tea maybe. That's it. So it's very, very difficult situation. Because of money problems all over the Middle East, Yemen is forgotten.
Okay.
Nobody knows about it.
Okay, Doctor, why? Why it was being forgotten? You see there's a lot of social media platform, you can
Yes.
see we from those who do not have any information about any other war all around the globe. But why Yemen is forgotten for some reasons?
There are two reasons. One is internal. Internal reason because we don't have good media. Politicians are fighting each other, instead of directing their efforts to get the support of others. So that's internal. And they're internationals. They have interest in other areas. So they focus more.
Such as?
They talk about, say, Sudan, they talk about Palestine, Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Libya, because we don't have that much money of oil, we don't have money,
Right.
And we are a poor country. So people have other interests in other areas.
Or is there any restriction by the government of Yemen that they do not allow any of the international media to access to any of the information
I
what's
don't
happening
think
in Yemen?
nobody comes, the international media, they don't come to Yemen. They consider Yemen is a red country, red line to go. And they are advised not to go to Yemen. So you don't find, international media to go and visit Yemen and to see and to reflect upon the situation over there. But you'll find them in Lebanon, in Syria, in Iraq, in Sudan, in Somalia, here and there. But you don't find them in Yemen. But again, as I said, there are international, and we cannot control international media.
Right.
It's up to them to decide their own agenda. But what about the Yemenis themselves? They have to do their best. That's why I think myself, when I came 2015, I contacted MRA myself. And the first media coverage was 2015 in Malaysia. And they're the one who we arranged for them to visit Yemen.
Right.
First, they visited Djibouti. They couldn't get into Yemen. They went to Djibouti, which is close to Yemen, so that they can collect. So we provide them with information about Yemen from Djibouti. But later on, they managed, as the ambassador said, that he was worried about them, but they didn't mind. After maybe 2016, they went in and they established their own office over there, MRA. But then we managed to talk in a campaign with other local NGOs here in Malaysia, national NGOs, and alhamdulillah, we managed to send them to Yemen.
How many Malaysian or international NGO who are based there in Yemen now?
Oh, there are now Malaysian very few, because sometimes they collaborate through local NGOs in Yemen.
All right.
But international NGOs, they have mostly the NGOs, organization related to United Nations.
Okay.
And other countries also, neighboring countries. They have their own local organization. But also they collaborate with local NGOs, most of them.
That is one of the regulations
Yes.
imposed. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Doctor, you can see there's also blockade that has been imposed onto Yemen.
Yes.
That makes it difficult for other humanitarian aid to reach those who really need food, medical,
the
and
blockade
stuff like that.
was Hudaydah at one time, but not Aden.
Right.
So the humanitarian aid was going through Aden, which is legally and internationally is the temporary capital of Yemen. After the Houthis took over in the north,
All right.
so the legal government, supported by Saudis and the Emirates, they allow things through Aden.
But now they allow the aid to enter Yemen
Oh yeah.
in order to help the people in
Yes,
Yemen.
yes.
So you do not have any issues of the blockade at all
You know,
for
like
now.
in Pure Hand,
Yeah.
they go to the all of Yemen, but all they go through Aden
All right.
now,
Okay.
because this is the internationally recognized government. Temporary capital is Aden now.
It's Aden now.
Yes.
All right. Okay, doctor, I have seen we were talking about education for children, and I have seen some of the posting where I saw children were holding guns. Children were holding guns, and that is so uncalled for, to
True.
get a boy holding a gun at that age. So can you just briefly explain to us what's happening? Why are children carrying guns, in Yemen? Are they being influenced by certain parties, or, or are they being trained, or are they being doctrined, to be a fighter?
Indoctrinated, and also creating awareness among the kids that fighting is important, and they train them, but that mostly in the north. Mostly in the north.
Right.
Yes.
At what age do they train them?
From middle school and high school and university. All.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Doctor, one of those very sad situation that we have seen also is the issues of malnutrition, starvation.
Yeah.
Children died out of starvation and due to not enough food which has been given to them. Maybe doctor can give us a bit of a scenario on, how this can be solved.
Starvation, as I said, it's more than 60% for everybody, including the children. But the malnutrition for children with acute nutrition is, I think, 2.5 million of children are suffering from, and a lot of people die. A lot of kids die. It is not enough, the support and the aid is not enough to help children to survive. Neither treating them nor feeding them. In both cases, they are suffering in millions. If I'm saying that one city in Yemen called Ma'rib, it has 4.5 million refugees. Tent, all of them live in tent. So what do you expect? 4.5, bigger than Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah.
Kuala Lumpur is around 3 million.
3 million.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now that's 4.5 million in one place in the desert. So no clean water, no sanitation, no food, no milk, no medicine. What do you expect? And no jobs for their guardians. So the end of it, starvation and famine. So it's a very, very bad situation unless there is a kind of urgent aid. That's one. But in the long run, if you want to sustain the development, we need peace and security and political stability.
Right. Doctor, you were saying about no assistance from or there are assistance from the international community.
But not enough.
But it's not enough.
It's not enough.
Is there any ways that you can encourage for instance, World Food Program to add on to whatever they are sending currently, looking at the current situation where there's a lot of babies dying and all that. That is one. And the second one is you're talking about 1 million babies were born in a year. Is there any such, like in some countries you have like birth control program, that sort of program that they are implementing in every country. Are the government looking at that particular program, when having babies, 1 million babies in a year is crazy. So what are the initiatives that has been...
I think there have been a lot of work on this. But it succeeded to some extent because in the past the average woman pregnancies and delivery was around 7 babies.
7
7 babies for a woman per life, the whole life. Now it is around 3.7 or 8 or 4 only.
3 to 4 only.
Yeah, 3 to 4. So there is a success in that aspect because not because of any campaign or something, because women started to work.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Not because of the program which has been implemented by the government. No.
No.
The government do not have time for that.
I think international aid and intervention started during a long time ago, but they didn't succeed much. But I think because of education for women and started to work, the number of children decreased. But to me, this is the symptoms only. If you want to develop your country, you need population. Now in Malaysia, maybe 50% of the labor coming from outside.
Yes.
So you are crying for more babies.
True.
So the most important is for us creating jobs so that we can support our families.
True.
This is just side effects, byproducts, So we have to think for the economic development, social development, holistic development, so that we can solve our problems. If we don't have political stability and security and creation of jobs, I don't think we can go anywhere. That's the top priority. But for the time being, we have to request at least the Muslim countries, we have 57 Muslim countries to support. We don't have enough support from Muslim countries, at least for the time being.
So you have lack of support from the Muslim country itself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why are they not supporting? Why are they not talking about it when this is their own people?
Yeah, I think lack of awareness to me and commitment for the ummah.
So who should do the awareness? Is it the Yemenis?
The Yemenis first, they have to create awareness. Second, OIC countries. We have OIC.
Okay.
They should play the role in creating a bond. Otherwise, why they are coordinating? On what purpose? For what purpose they are coordinating? If they cannot help each other, if they cannot collaborate at the agriculture level, at the industrial level, technology level, educational level, they have to work. Why they have to be consumers all the time? They are consumers, most of the Muslim countries.
Yeah.
They depend on the oil. Oil will dry up at one day.
Yes.
You have to develop yourself.
Yeah.
So I think they have to create a kind of platform to develop themselves. Don't wait others to tell you to develop. Take the initiative. Be proactive in what you are doing. At the level of higher education, they don't develop, work together. At the level of education, basic education, no. At the media studies, media awareness, technology, industry, agriculture. We are importing from non-Muslim countries, but we forget to import from our Muslim countries. We don't support each other, let alone helping each other. Even for their own sake, they should help each other.
So to what extent you have seen OIC has been playing their part or their role in these issues in Yemen? To what extent?
I would say nothing.
Nothing.
I would say nothing. Yes, some countries,
It's
support us.
embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
For not having OIC to be
I think
part
mostly Saudi Arabia is supporting, but not other countries, really. And maybe Kuwait, the second best. Qatar, very little. Others, not much, really. Everybody is busy with himself or herself. That's why once we forget about brotherhood and sisterhood, we tend to focus on our personal interest.
Interests.
Yes.
Yes.
Lack of commitment
Yes.
to our value system.
All right. And Doctor, we have seen the support from Malaysian
Yes.
NGOs.
Yes.
So what are your, how do you encourage more NGOs from Malaysia or all around the world to support the people in Yaman? How do, because I was made understand there was a bit of restriction, entering Yaman and all that. How can you assist the local NGO to get into Yaman? Because this is very important for the audience to know,
Yes,
so that
yes.
with these probably more people can go to Yemen.
Again,
and
we
help
have
them.
to blame ourselves as Yemenis first. We have to create. We have done several occasions, invitation to local NGOs, and Alhamdulillah, they responded positively. But as Shego Azmi talked, that we need to expand it a little bit to the different levels, not just focus at the local NGO. NGOs are one sector, but there are the political sector, the media sector, the private sector. So we have to extend. Maybe our lack of experience in promotion and marketing, it's a problem.
I'm so sorry, but I think so.
Yeah.
Because if you can see, look at how Gaza has been getting a lot of exposure. People are helping with
Yes.
all sorts of platform that they use to help Gaza.
Yes.
Same goes to Syria and all that. And I think probably Yemen should start,
Yes.
promoting.
I agree with you.
Yes.
I agree with you that we have to do a lot, and our several NGOs should work together to promote the Yemeni issue and try to facilitate the support and the help of Malaysian people and population to Yemen.
Yes. Doctor, your kind word to the audience, Malaysia or anywhere else who can come forward and help the Yemenis, in whatever way they can, so that with this short interview session that we have, we wish that we can get more donors
Inshallah.
and NGOs to help the Yemenis. Maybe you can have a few words to the audience.
Well, first of all, I have to thank the Malaysian people at the government level, at the different sectors as well, for their understanding. Wherever I go, I find people have a very passionate attitude and positive attitude towards Yemen.
Yeah.
Maybe because of the role of Yemenis in the past in spreading Islam here in Malaysia. But I have lived with Malaysian for 40 years myself, either in UK or in Malaysia.
Wow.
I have collaborated with local public universities for 20 years in Yemen. So I found them are very passionate, very also kind, supportive, humble, down-to-earth people. But as a result, still we need more. We need more. There are a lot of priority projects, whether in education or in health, or in entrepreneurship or whatever. They can select whatever project in Yemen, and they can collaborate with local NGOs who are supporting us. Many local NGOs are supporting us. MRA is just one, but also there is My Care. There is also other from different states as well. So they can work through them. And we have also local Yemeni NGOs here.
Right.
Like Tawasul and Insan and others. And here Pure Hand that's coming from the States as well. So they can work collaboratively in implementing certain projects according to their ability and capacity. I hope that they can respond positively, and may Allah reward them in advance.
Inshallah.
Jazakumullah khair.
And finally, Doctor, your special word to OIC.
Well, OIC,
Special message to OIC.
yes, OIC, I think they have to coordinate with the legal government to help Yemen without hesitation. They have to pledge some support at least to elevate the bad situation of Yemen at all walks of life, at all sectors, mainly economics, education, and also health. These three areas, plus, of course, infrastructure is already collapsed. We need a lot of help from them, and OIC can coordinate these kind of things through the government.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for your time and
Most welcome.
good sharing. And it opened up everyone's mind on what really happening in Yemen. Inshallah, we'll see you again, Doctor. And
Inshallah.
have a good holiday and weekends, and insyaAllah
you.
we'll see you again insyaAllah.
Thank you. Appreciate your
Kepada
help.
semua penonton Garis Krisis, terima kasih kerana bersama-sama kami di Garis Krisis, dan insyaAllah kita berjumpa lagi di hari dan waktu yang sama di episod yang akan datang insyaAllah. Assalamualaikum.